Hello everyone, I am your math coding instructor and I will discuss about measure of dispersion of group data. Measure of dispersion is a number that conveys the idea of spread for data set. The types of absolute measure of dispersion are range. It is simply the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value given in the data set. How to find the value of range? Example 1P567. To get the range, you need to find the highest value and the lowest value. Ang highest value dito sa example na to ay 7, while the lowest value is 1. And subtract it. 7 minus 1 is equal 6. Variance. Deduct the mean from each data in the set, then squaring each of them and adding each square and finally dividing them by the total number of values in the data set is the variance. Variance is the square of standard deviation of the data. Standard deviation. The square root of the variance is known as the standard deviation. Example, score of grade 9 humility in 4th periodical test in English. Make a column for score and frequency. In our score, we have 56 to 60, 51 to 55, 46 to 50, 41 to 45, 36 to 40, 31 to 35, 26 to 30, 21 to 25, 16 to 20. In frequency, we have 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 10, 7, 8, 2. Para makuha yung range, you need to make a column for class boundaries. How do I get these class boundaries? So, in this left side, kailangan mo mag-minus ng 0.5 and dito sa right side, kailangan mo mag-add ng 0.5. 56 minus 0.5 is equal to 55.5. 60 plus 0.5 is equal to 60.5. 51 minus 0.5 is equal to 50.5. 55 plus 0.5 is equal to 55.5 until you get all the values that needed here in class boundaries. Then proceed to range. Like what I said before, para makuha yung range, kailangan mo hanapin ang highest value and lower value. So the highest value is 60.5 and the lowest value is 15.5. 60.5 minus 15.5, our range is 45. Variance and standard deviation. How to get the variance and standard deviation? First you need to have the score and frequency. Then, make a column for class mark. How do I get this class mark? First, you need to add the scores and divided by 2. 56 plus 60 divided by 2 is equals to 58. 51 plus 55 divided by 2 is equals to 53. 46 plus 50 divided by 2 is equals to 48. 41 plus 45 divided by 2 is equals to 43 hanggang sa makuha mo lahat ng value na kailangan dito sa class mark. Then, proceed to the next column, fx. How to find the fx? Kailangan mo i-times ang frequency and class mark. 3 times 58 is equal to 174. 4 times 53 is equals to 212. 5 times 48 is equals to 240. 5 times 43 is equals to 215. 6 times 38 is equals to 228. 10 times 33 is equals to 330 until you get all of it. Then, how do I get the summation of fx? Para makuha ang summation of fx, kailangan mong i-add ang lahat na values dito sa fx. Then, dahil kakailanganin siya sa then proceed to the next column, but we need to solve the mean. How do we solve the mean? How solve the mean? You need to remember this formula. Mean, summation of fx over number total of frequency. Our summation of fx is 1,815 and our n is 50. So, 1,815 over 50 is equals to 36.3. Kaya kailangan natin makuha yun yun dahil kailangan siya for the next column. The next column is x minus mean square. How do I solve it? Paano ko sinasolve tong x minus mean square? Ang x natin is 58, then minus 36.3, then square. And the total is 470.89. 53 minus 36.3 square is equal to 278.89. 48 minus 36.3 square then is equals to 136.89. 43 minus 36.3 square is 44.89. Then solve it until you get all the value. So the next column is frequency times x minus mean square. Then frequency. Frequency natin is 3. Then times it sa 470.89. So 3 times 470.89 is equals to 1,412.67. 4 times 278.9 is equals to 1,115.56. 5 times 136.89 is equal to 684.45. 5 times 44.88 is equal to 224.45. Then, until we get it, all the value needed here in this column. Then, summation of f times x is equals to mean square. Paano ito nakuha? Kailangan mo lang itong i-add lahat. X equals to 6,130.5. How to get the variance and standard deviation? You need to get the value of summation of frequency times x minus mean square, which is 6,130.5. Then divide it by n minus 1. Our n is 50 minus 1. So 6,130.5 divided by 49 is equal to 125.11. The variance is 125.11. Standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of the variance. The square root of 125.11 is 11.19. So the standard deviation is 11.19. Calculate the range, variance, and standard deviation of weekly allowance of students in Legarda Elementary School. Make a column for weekly allowance in pesos and frequency. In weekly allowance in pesos, we have 81 to 90, 71 to 80, 61 to 70, 51 to 60, 41 to 50, 31 to 40, 21 to 30. And in frequency, we have 6, 11, 14, 10, 9, 8, 10. Then, make a column for class boundaries. How do I get these class boundaries? Dito sa left side, kailangan mo mag-minus ng 0.5. Dito sa right side, kailangan mo mag-add ng 0.5. So, 81 minus 0.5 is equals to 80.5. 90 plus 0.5 is equals to 90.5. 71 minus 0.5 is equals to 70.5. 80 plus 0.5 is equals to 80.5. 61 minus 0.5 is equal to 60.5. 70 plus 0.5 is equals to 70.5. 51 minus 0.5 is equals to 50.5. And 60 plus 0.5 is equals to 60.5 hanggang makuha mo lahat ng value dito sa class boundaries. Then, range. To get the range, kailangan mo kunin ang highest value is 90.5. And the lowest class boundaries is 20.5. So, 90.5 minus 20.5, our range is 70. So 90.5 minus 20.5, 90.5 minus 20.5, our range is 70. Then proceed to the variance and standard deviation. First, you need to have the weekly allowance in pesos and the frequency. In weekly allowance, you'll have the frequency. Then, make a column for class mark. Paano nakuha ang class mark? Kailangan mo i-times yung dalawa, 81 plus 90. Then, i-divide siya sa 2. So, 81 plus 90 divided by 2 is equals to 85.5. 71 plus 80 divided by 2 is 75.5. 61 plus 70 divided by 2 is equals to 65.5. 51 plus 60 divided by 2 is equals to 55.5. 41 plus 50 divided by 2 is equals to 45.5. 31 plus 40 divided by 2 is 35.5. 21 plus 30 divided by 2 is 25.5. Then proceed to the next column, fx. How to get this fx? Kailangan mong i-times ang frequency and class mark. So, 6 times 85.5 is equals to 513. 11 times 75.5 is equals to 830.5. 14 times 65.5 is equals to 917. 10 times 55.5 is equals to 555. 9 times 45.5 is equals to 409.5. 8 times 35.5 is equals to 284. 10 times 25.5 is equals to 255. Then the summation of fx is 3,764 and the n is 68. Then proceed to the mean. Remember this formula. Summation of fx over n. Remember this formula. Then proceed to the mean. Remember this formula. Summation of fx over n. Ang total ng summation of fx natin ay 3,764 divided by 68 is equal to 55.35. Our mean is 55.35. Ba't kailangan mo na makuha ang mean? Kasi kailangan siya for the next column. Ang next column is x minus mean square. Paano ito i-solve? So, x, 85.5 and the mean is 55.35. So, 85.5 minus 55.35 square is equals to 909.02. 75.5 minus 55.35 square is equals to 406.02. 65.5 minus 55.35 square is equals to 103.02. Hanggang makuha na lahat ng value dito sa x minus mean square. Then proceed to the next column. F times x minus mean square. So, 6 times 909.02 is equals to 5,454.12. So, 11 times 406.02 is equals to 4,466.22. 14 times 103.02 is equals to 1,442.28. 10 times 0.02 is equals to 0.2. 9 times 97.02 is equals to 874.18. 8 times 394.02 is equals to 3,152.16. 10 times 892.02 is equals to 8,910.2. So, the summation of f times x minus mean square is equals to 24,298.36. And proceed to the next slide, which is the variance and the standard deviation. How to compute the variance? So remember this formula. Summation of f times x minus mean square over n minus 1. Ang summation of f times x minus mean square natin ay 24,296.36. Ang n naman natin is 68. So, 68 minus 1 is 67. 24,298.36 divided by 67 is equals to 362.66. So, ang variance natin ay 362.66. After variance, proceed to standard deviation. The square root of 362.66 is 19.04. So, ang standard deviation natin ay 19.04. Thank you for watching! Thank you for watching!